I honestly didn't realize how much social media was affecting my confidence until I started feeling unhappy with myself almost every single day. And the worst part was, nothing was actually wrong with my life. I was alive, I had dreams, I was trying, I was surviving, but somehow I always fell behind. Like, I constantly felt like I was left behind, like everything was not moving for me, and so on. You see, I will wake up, open my phone for a few minutes, and suddenly I was questioning my entire life. Like, how I looked, how what I was doing, where my life was going, why everybody else seemed happier than me. And honestly, I think social media made me feel like I was failing at life before my life had even fully started. Like, seriously. I was only 20 or 21, 22, 23, but I felt like I was failing even before my life had fully started. Hi guys, welcome back to Mercy After Hours. So in my last video, I talked about feeling lonely and lost in your 20s, and one thing I briefly mentioned was how social media was quietly making everything worse for me mentally. And I have been thinking about that a lot lately because I genuinely think many of us don't even realize how emotionally affected we are by the things we consume every single day online, especially in our generation, because we are constantly watching other people's live their lives in real time, their relationships, their success, their beauty, their money, their glow ups, and after a while you stop seeing your own life clearly because you're just focused on other people's life, on seeing other people's life. In the end, you forget about your own life, you forget about who you are, and you forget about everything. I remember there was a period when I felt emotionally drained almost all the time, and I couldn't fully understand why I felt like that. Like, I wasn't physically exhausted, but mentally, I felt overwhelmed constantly. And honestly, looking back now, I think social media played a huge role in that. I used to spend so much time scrolling, especially at night. And the more I scrolled, the worse I felt about myself. I will see girls of my age traveling, getting jobs, glowing up, moving out, building houses, and meanwhile, I was still trying to figure myself out, still trying to even understand who I even was. And slowly, I started feeling like my life wasn't enough. Like, I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't achieving enough. I wasn't becoming enough, and so on. I think comparison became so normal for me that I didn't even notice it was destroying my confidence. And honestly, after reflecting on all this, I started realizing there were specific ways social media was affecting me emotionally without me noticing. So, I want to share a few things I personally realized. I was comparing my real life to other people's highlights. The first thing I realized was that I was comparing my real life to everybody else's highlight reels. And that comparison was quietly making me insecure because because online everybody looks happy, everybody looks productive, beautiful, successful, confident, but nobody really posts the hard moments in their lives. Nobody posts confusion, nobody posts crying, nobody posts rejection, and nobody posts nothing, any hard moment of their lives. And because I was constantly consuming polished versions of people's life, my normal life or my normal human life started feeling not enough. That mindset honestly made me so hard on myself. And another thing I realized, I started tying my self worth to validation. I think at some point I cared too much about being perceived. How many people likes me, how many likes I got, how I looked online, whether people noticed me, whether people approved of me. And I didn't realize how unhealthy that was, because when your confidence depends on validation, you never truly feel secure in yourself. Even when people compliment you, the insecurity still come back later. You'll just be happy at some time, then the insecurities will come back later. And honestly, that's so exhausting emotionally. And I think this next one affected me the most. Social media made me feel like I was running out of time. I genuinely started feeling like I was late in life at 20, 21, 22, 23, which honestly sounds so crazy when I say it out loud now, because who does that? But social media makes life feel like it's a race, because every day you are watching somebody achieving something, and eventually your brain starts thinking, what am I doing with my life? I started putting so much pressure on myself to catch up with people. And that pressure made me anxious all the time. There was no time I was just sitting there peacefully or anything. I was anxious every time. Every time, every moment, I just used to be anxious. I used to be so anxious until I got tired. So, I stopped consuming content that made me feel bad about myself. Not because those people were bad people, but because I realized certain content left me feeling emotionally drained every single time I consumed it. I think we underestimate how much what we watch affects our mental health. Now I try to consume content that inspires me instead of content that silently makes me hate who I am, hate myself, and so on. And lastly, this is probably what helped me reconnect with myself the most. I started reconnecting with real life. I started spending less time online and more time just being present in my actual life. Going outside more, listening to music, journaling, filming videos, having quiet moments without constantly scrolling. And honestly, life started feeling softer again, calmer, more real. I think social media overstimulates us so much that we forget how peaceful real life can actually feel. I still use social media. I still scroll sometimes, but now I'm more aware of how certain things affect me emotionally. And that awareness changed everything for me. Because once you realize something is slowly destroying your confidence, you stop consuming it blindly. And honestly, I think a lot of us are carrying insecurities that were quietly created online. We just don't talk about it enough. So, if social media has been making you feel behind lately, I just want you to note this. You are not failing because your life doesn't look perfect online. Your life is still valuable, even when it is quiet, even when it is slow, even when you are still figuring things out. And honestly, this whole experience also made me realize how much validation I was secretly seeking from other people, which is something I really want to talk about in my next video. Why I stopped chasing validation. If you related with this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.